Well, hello there. What's going on? My name is Joby. I am the Dungeon Master for The Familiars, and we are a group of professional actors, although we may be unprofessional adventurers. Welcome to Season 2, y'all. We had an awesome Session 0 talking about sort of what's been going on in the story thus far, and we are going to get into some actual play today, which I'm super pumped about. So, just to catch you guys up, we are playing through Storm King's Thunder. Our characters are level 8. We have already saved Golden Fields and taken down one giant lord. So, before we get started, though, I do want to let you know that if you want to support us, you know what you can do? You can head over to Patreon. Subscribe for $3 a month. It means a ton, and it just helps us keep doing all the things that we love to do. You can hit the follow button. You can hit the subscribe button. You can check out our podcast, leave a comment. All of this stuff is just super duper helpful. Most importantly, tell your friends. Tell your friends that you love listening to this group of amazing artists tell you a story that they don't know where it's going to go. All right. I think that's good. Do you feel clear? I feel clear. But you know what I want to do? I want to introduce my buddies. Look at these guys.
Yay.
Gals, people, most importantly. And one by one, mucho gracias to my amigos. First and foremost, Alex Henderson playing Rooster, our dragonborn barbarian. We've got Austin playing Thibodeau. He's a human bard. We've got Annalise Lawson playing Worthy Tiefling Cleric. We've got Zach Appleman. He's playing Justin, half-elf ranger. And we've got John. John? Hey, bud. Playing non-player characters, helping us all out. With
John, can you just be present? Can you focus on us?
John? Hey, John.
Please.
John. He's a professional fisherman as well, so if you do want help with your fly fishing game, be sure to hit him up on MySpace.
I got myself a stress ball for this season for combat sessions.
Yeah? That's good.
Because I have to stop drinking.
I was muted. I was muted and I made a joke. Can we start over?
Yeah, sure. We'll cut this out in post. But just go ahead. Everyone act like we're just starting, okay?
And we can just cut
ball
back
for combat sessions. It's
Well, my
like
joke
a mushroom.
actually.
Look.
Austin, what was the cue for your joke?
My joke came before the stress ball thing. So, Annalise, can we just?
Yeah.
It's okay.
You mean fly space?
Oh.
Because he was fly.
And that's it. Thanks,
fishing.
folks, for coming.
Thanks,
for
everybody. We'll
coming to
catch
our
you next
show.
week. Thanks for supporting.
I got a stress
Yeah,
ball.
stress ball. Oh, cool.
Now the stress ball moment. Okay, so so just for next time, we'll do the fly fishing joke. We'll then do the stress ball. And then I'll talk about some of our fellow artists, some of whom know that we use their stuff, and other who don't, but we support them on Patreon. First of all, thank you, Foundry VTT, for providing the best virtual space to play Dungeons & Dragons with your friends. Thank you to Bailey Wiki, who makes amazing custom maps and assets that go right into Foundry. Super duper nice. It's going to save you time, Dungeon Masters. Tabletop Audio for helping us with our ambiance, and Monument Studios helping us with a lot of our soundtracks. All right? It's good stuff. You guys should check them out. Support them where you can. You know? All right. I think I want to catch folks up. I want to catch America and the world up on where we are in the published adventure of Storm King's Thunder. How does that sound to you guys? It sounds nice. It sounds pretty good to me.
John and my boxes are switched, FYI.
Oh.
You know. But it was
Is
so
that throughout
close.
the whole thing? Let's see.
I don't know. No, it wasn't
it's just
before.
There. All right. Listen.
Now we're good.
The screen caps, fly fishing
America
joke,
and
ball.
the world. Is it okay here? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're guys, America and the world, when we're role playing, I need you guys to suspend your disbelief that John is not Zach and Zach is not John. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's get into a recap. Monument Studios. All right, here we go. Familiars. Oh, wait, let me get my speed jump. There we go. All right. So, the familiars have found themselves outside of Amphail, and they have just landed from an airborne trip that they took on the back of a young black dragon named Snagtooth. Snagtooth deposited them basically about a half-day's hike from Amphail, telling the party that he will return in a 10-day to this very spot if the party wishes to make good on their deal with him to infiltrate the fire giant's stronghold known as Ironschlag and recover, get ready for it, the Vonendad. All right? Give those things a Google, America and the world. It's evening now when you land, and you can see Snagtooth taking off into the night sky. And you decide to make camp with Captain Chowder taking his usual watch. The night passes without issue. And familiars, you wake up in the morning. You come out of your tents. And bright, clear summer morning here on the Sword Coast. But Chowder's nowhere to be found. And Rooster, the last to awake, as you are coming out of your tent, you find a little folded piece of paper.
What is these? Oh, Rooster.
Dear familiars, last night something happened to me. While you were all enjoying your doubtless dreamless sleep, while I was keeping watch, Winnie came to me. It wasn't exactly a dream. It wasn't exactly a vision. All I can say is, she came to me. And she said one thing to me. She said, "Find us, Stan. We're not in Amphail. Find Enos, and you'll find us." And so I have to go, familiars, right now. You all need to stay on track to Amphail. Get these kids to safety. Pepper, Salmon, your dad loved you very much, and you'll be safe soon. You're in good hands. And as for you all, familiars, well, Thibodeau, you're captain while I'm gone. And I love you all very much. I don't know if I'll ever see you all again, but I hope I do. I want you all to know, for the first time since I lost everything, years ago, you all made me feel like part of a family for the first time. And I'll never forget that. And I'll love you all forever for it. Love, Chowder. Stanley Booth.
Worthy. Can you read this? I can't read. But here I read Stan, and I don't know what a Stan is.
Worthy picks up the piece of paper and reads aloud what Captain Chowder just read.
No! He left us! He left us!
Rooster starts pacing around the camp.
This is bullshit. I'm okay. I hate this. It is just like, okay, so you have a family, I get that. And that is good. and I want you to find Winnie. It's not that I don't, but I wanted you to find us all together. Why would he leave? Why does he think he has to leave? That is like crazy. And like, why doesn't he want to be with his best friend Rooster? Also, Thibodeau, sorry, but why are you in charge? I'm the one that has been in an army, okay? And like, I keep everyone together. I'm never controversial.
Well,
Worthy,
Rooster, let's just try to get it together here a little bit.
Worthy goes up to Rooster and puts a hand on Rooster and just says, Rooster,
Yeah.
I don't really know from experience, but I think when you're part of a family, you do whatever you have to do to protect them.
But what about us, family?
Well, maybe Cap knows we can protect ourselves.
It's okay if I'm mad about it, though.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just, I don't think it should have been a no, you know what I mean? That's all.
I think
That's all.
I understand that, but sometimes you don't get to say goodbye at all.
That's a good point.
Worthy's right, Rooster. I think you need to take everything you're feeling right now, bottle it up.
Okay, that seems right.
I don't think I was saying advocate
And turn that in to something useful.
Like
Turn that into a anger, a wild, primal rage.
That's not the point I was making.
I think what Worthy's getting at
Yeah, I'm very vulnerable right now, so I'll do pretty much whatever you say.
is that you're no good to us
What?
as a big softy.
Okay. I will never.
I want that rage.
Okay. You're the captain.
Captain
What?
Chowder, Captain
What?
left you.
What? In what? In what? In how? How did you get any of that from what I just said?
Rooster just goes and starts punching the nearest tree.
Pippa comes up
And, like,
next to you
darting.
and just starts punching the tree as well. This young
That's
girl.
good,
is just
Pippa.
like, yeah, it feels great. She
we
starts
need-
punching the
We
tree.
need our rooster back.
Yeah, that's right, Pippa. I'm really curious about that whole dragonborn thing. So can we all
Yeah.
just kind of note that? Because Pippa's got some dragon. Hey, Pippers. Do you want me to call you Pippa or Pepper?
Whatever you want. I like pepper. It's spicy.
Yeah, Pepper. Never feel
Pepper.
anything. Yeah.
Never feel anything. Got it.
Never
Bottle
feel
it up.
anything. Just hit the tree, bottle it up.
She just starts hitting the tree, and it just, you see Rooster and Pippa slash Pepper just like sort of like, you don't know if both of them are crying or laughing, but it looks like a release. Okay, so that being said, anything else anybody wants to chat about before we head off?
How close
Really
are we? How
sad.
close are we to the gates of Amphail?
About a half day.
Okay, so it's still a little bit of a ways. All right.
Yes. Good? Everyone good?
Yep.
Good. I'm great.
All right. So you guys pack up camp and head off towards Amphail. And soon you can see the main road, and I've got a very cool little image here that I can show you as you approach Amphail. Beautiful summer day, and off in the distance you can see the walled city of Amphail that emerges, I'll say, behind a hill as you come around it. And as you approach, you see that there are, of course, like the outlying farms that have larger tracts of land outside of the city proper. And as you make your way, you notice that these farms look in various states of abandonment. Sorry, Rooster. And they look uninhabited. A few of them have, it looks like cattle or livestock have gotten outside of their pens. And a few of them you can see look completely destroyed by what look to be what you now recognize as large boulders that could only be thrown by a giant. And it resembles a lot of the wreckage that you had encountered in and around Golden Fields and on your way to Grudhaug. So it looks like the hill giants had made it towards Amphail as well, spreading their influence to the surrounding area. That being said, soon you are at the gates of Amphail. And as you get closer, you can see that it looks like there are these wooden scaffold that have been set up on the outside of the walls. And from a distance, you can see that they seem to be guarded by white cloaks, which look to be like Lord's Alliance. But you're far enough off that if you wanted to discuss anything or make any decisions, you could do it without being too conspicuous.
Rooster rushes in and just start. No, I'm just kidding.
Great. Let me just roll for initiative.
No.
Worthy, remembering that the last white cloaks we encountered after taking Grudhaug gave me some serious grief about not being a tiefling and not having registered with my local church of, that's not air quotes, that's just what they said, not having registered with my local church of Lathander, and warning me that it was now illegal for tieflings to wander without being registered with the church of Lathander, wanders over to Thibodeau and says, listen, is there any way you could forge some sort of document or registration card for me? Just because I don't think it's the smartest thing for me to walk in there right now.
Well, I could certainly forge it. I just have to see what they look like first.
We could tie you up and say you're one of our prisoners as we come in. Haven't had a chance to register you yet. Then forge the documents when we get inside.
Work.
All right.
Hey, Worthy.
Holds out her hands.
Can I? I take them. I grab the hands. I grab her feet and I put her around my shoulders like a
Whoa.
sheep.
I'm afraid of heights.
I thought we just sort of bind the wrists, but that's fine too.
Well, my hands are still freed, so I think it's sort of important for the illusion if someone just ties them up.
No, my rage will be enough. This is me now.
Justin very gently ties her wrists with some of his hempen rope.
Why? This is.
Rooster's like trying to get at Justin, like who keeps being behind them. But Justin keeps trying to tie.
Stop. Everybody stop.
Rooster's,
Everybody stop.
It's
Stop.
just spinning
Stop
around.
moving.
Yeah, it just turns into like a slap, handoff, slap.
I'm feeling a little
Get off
sick.
of me. All right, fine.
I don't like this.
We ready to go, Captain Tibbs?
Well, I'm just wondering if it might not be better to have Worthy come in on her own accord. It might present her as a less malicious entity.
Justin has just finished successfully tying Worthy's hands.
Okay, if you want.
Or not.
Okay, keep her on my shoulders.
I think there's a middle ground. That would involve me being on the ground and not too very high up.
It's not safe enough.
Worthy, are you going to try to
let's
get
go.
down off of Rooster's shoulders?
Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad I'm so strong.
Worthy, make a strength check.
Oh no.
Rooster, make a
I'm
strength
not
check.
strong at all.
All right.
5.
Oh, I crit.
Worthy, you
I'm glad
cannot
I
get
used
off
it on that.
of
I
Rooster's
just-
shoulders.
I know emotions are running very high right now, but I do just want to say, as the person currently tied up, that Thibodeau makes a compelling point. And I do think that if I'm presented as a prisoner, there might be a world in which I am then taken prisoner by someone who's not you.
What do you want, Tibbs? Captain Tib-Tib.
Why don't you just hold hands?
I love this idea. And I put Worthy down and I hold her hand.
Great.
Great.
Still tied.
Worthy, could you hold my hand more and squeeze it, please? So I don't feel anything. Because I feel a lot right now.
Rooster has just squeezed their face tight.
I'm ready.
Worthy takes her bound wrists, puts one hand in Rooster's hand, and being careful of her talons so as not to scratch the palm, and just does a little squeeze.
Oh, like that murder game. So I know you're the killer. You know that game that we used to play at the taverns when I was young?
As you guys make
Okay,
your
anyways,
way
like,
up
what's a
to the gates
game?
of Amphail.
We'll play it
As you
sometime.
approach, you see that there are 6 White Cloaks, Lord's Alliance, members of the Lord's Alliance, standing outside of Amphail, and one moves towards you, looks to be a humanoid with some level of orcish descent in them. These 2 small incisors poking up above their lower lips, and they have a shaved head with some tattoos, some tattoo work along the sort of like sides of their face, and they make their way towards you and say, "Halt! Who goes there? Announce yourself before entering the gates of Amphail."
I'm Sir Thibodeau of the Lord's Alliance.
Whispers start to trickle around the members behind this half-orc standing before you. "Thibodeau, you say? Well, if the stories are true, it is both an honor and a privilege to finally meet the famous giant slayer. What business have you in Amphail? And who here is in your party?" Looking around. "I notice you have a prisoner. A tiefling, is it?"
But more importantly, we have refugees. And I bring the 2 children forward. These 2 children lost everything. Their farm and family. And they're seeking refuge here with an aunt, I believe, in Amphail.
This half-orc leans down, looks at Bertram and Pippa, and Bertram steps forward and says, "Yes, we have family here. Hill giants had attacked our farm first, and then, well, others. We are seeking our aunt," whose name the DM actually forgets and needs to check his notes on, who lives here
Melora.
in Amphail. Melora, thank you. Oof.
Worthy.
If I could still give you inspiration, I would. Aunt Melora here in Amphail. And one of the members of the Lord's Alliance troop says, "Oh, Melora, sure. Yeah, she's been looking for both of you. Oh, she'll be overjoyed to see you. Come with me, and I can bring you to her right away." And
Rooster starts
Pippa-
crying again, knowing that Pippa and Bertram are about to go away.
Pippa starts to run off and sort of makes it halfway, and Bertram turns to you, and first to you, Rooster, And Bertram says, Rooster,
Yep.
it's time to be brave. If there's one thing that I've learned from the familiars, it's that bravery is not the absence of fear, it's what you do in the face of it. No, well, yes, I guess, sure. Anyway, Bertram looks at the rest of you and says, I wish that I could have said goodbye to Captain Chowder, but to all of you, thank you. Thank you. And he goes up to you, Thibodeau, and holds out his hand, and you reach out and shake it, and it's this strangely formal goodbye. He seems to be sort of standing straight, trying to get a little bit taller than his days. And nods to you, Justin, and to you, Worthy, and then walks off with the member of the Lord's Alliance.
Do I trust that member of the Lord's Alliance?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Come on. 20.
You take a look at them up and down, and they don't seem to be anything other than concerned about the safety of the children.
And I believe them when they said they knew where the aunt was. And
Yes.
everything.
You don't get a whiff of any kind of lie, and you feel
Okay.
fairly confident about that. And Rooster, as you are wiping the poisonous mucus off of the front of your nose,
Yep.
it's very dangerous, actually. You feel
Pepper, get away.
Peppa
Always.
come up to you and put a hand on your scaly, massive thigh.
Yeah.
Very strong. And look up at you and say, thank you, Rooster. You've taught me a lot. And she
Wait,
hugs.
Pepper.
She tries to get her arms around your massive thigh and almost gets there and squeezes real hard. And then
Wait,
moves
Pepper.
away and punches you as hard as she can in the thigh.
That's good. That's good. That's right. It's
It
not
doesn't
the.
hurt.
I learned something really important. Okay, courage is not the absence of fear, but you gotta be afraid sometimes, and then punch things. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'll remember that forever.
Great.
She moves over to you, Worthy, and saw her brother do this with Thibodeau, and then holds out her hand to you.
Worthy takes her bound hands out of Rooster's and says, I'd like to be able to say a little bit more to you, but stick with your brother. Take care of yourself. And always remember you have a choice. And shakes Peppa's hand.
Shakes it. Goes back.
Feminism.
They walk away. And at that, the half-orc looks to you and says, good work. Good work. What voice did I use? Good work. No, that was the no.
No.
Yeah. Good work,
No, that's the
Thibodeau.
no.
That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Nice sort of general Lord's Alliance. Good work, Thibodeau. Those children will be safe here, at least for a while. We were recently attacked by hill giants, and many folk, especially the wealthier members of Amphail, have fled back to the places where they came from, mostly to Waterdeep. We're here left picking up the pieces. Common folk have stayed if they have a shop or any of the folk who sell horses here. We're famous for horses, by the way, here in Amphail. We're known for our horses. So if anybody's looking for a horse, please make sure to pick one up here and get one of the Amphailian chargers. They're wonderful. Anyway,
Cool.
what else is about Amphail? Anyway, we've just gotten attacked. I told you that. I told you about the horses. I told you that.
Hey, you okay, Orc?
Yes, he's looking down. He's got a note card.
You seem nervous. You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you.
First day.
Yeah, it's my first day. First day here. My name's Scrim, by the way. A member of the Lord's Alliance myself. I've always looked up to you, Thibodeau. I'm a little nervous. It's the great Thibodeau before me. Let me know if there's anything else that you guys are looking for or need. I recommend if you're looking for a place to wet your whistle to head to the Staghorn Flagon. Just tell them Scrim sent you, and they'll help you out, hook you up, as it were. Other than that, yeah, you're gonna need to register that tiefling right away, Dorothra Shendril, at the Temple of Mercy and Light. It's the Temple of Lathander, and we've gotten orders from on high that any tieflings that come into contact with us are going to need to be registered right away with the closest establishment of the Church of Lathander. So make sure you do that lickety-split before you head to the Staghorn Flagon. It's actually right on the way. You can't miss it. And yes, we're just happy to have the help. Really, we're shorthanded here in Amphail, so just pleasure to make your acquaintance, and make sure to register that tiefling.
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
If we register my friend Worthy with the Church of Lathander, will she be treated as a free citizen of Amphail?
Well, sure. Absolutely. Can I ask why her hands are bound?
That was a gesture of good faith. We understand that there's some fears running rampant in the area, and we didn't want to present our friend as a threat.
Go ahead and make a deception check with advantage.
Just on. This is why I didn't want to bind her hands, but okay.
I'm assuming says Rooster to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Cool.
22.
20.
Nice.
22 for the podcast.
All right.
Scrim looks at you, looks at Worthy, says, I can learn a lot from you, Sir Thibodeau. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, as long as Worthy, is that her name?
Yes.
Is registered with the local establishment, then absolutely. As far as I understand it, we're just trying to keep tabs on all devil folk that we come into contact with. Merely a technicality. It's just to keep everybody safe, to keep everything above board. I'm sure you understand. He looks at you, Worthy. I'm sure you understand.
Yes,
And I take a look. I take a look off into the distance, and I look at the blighted land, the destroyed farms, the sacked villages, and I say, "I got a question for you, Scrim.
Shoot!
Is it tieflings that did that, or was that giants?"
Scrim looks off into the distance and Well, that was giants.
Uh-huh. Just checking. My friend Worthy here is a confirmed giant slayer. She put an end to
Go.
God, couldn't remember her name.
Just leans close in.
Thank you.
Goo.
To Goo herself, leader of the Hill Giants. My friend Worthy here should be welcomed as a hero in Amphail, not brought in as a prisoner. Scrim, I need you to get down on your knees
Oh shit!
But don't, please don't do this. Please don't.
and untie my friend.
Make a. You can choose persuasion or intimidation with advantage.
Persuasion.
Really uncomfortable with this level of attention.
With advantage, with advantage.
Oof. It's not great, but
An 11 and a 12. Scrim is mortified. Color leaving their face. But you can see the muscles on his jaw flex. He says, "Just doing my job, sir." And you can see him look back to the group that everyone is just completely still and silent and watching this exchange take place. And Scrim looks at you and says, "On your way." Definitely does not untie Worthy's hands, but looks back and says, "Open the gates!" And you can see the gates begin to open, as I'm assuming you guys walk into Amphail.
As we walk
You
in, I
guys-
sort of say to the group,
go
like,
ahead.
all right, what's the plan? We want to resupply, get some new equipment, try to find some other party member to help us take on those fire giants since we're down one panda construct.
Smile like that, it hurts the cheeks.
Yeah, I think that I need to get drunk. So I don't feel nothing, right, Tibbs?
well, we could get around to that eventually. But Justin's right. What sort of business do we have here in Amphail, apart from making sure the kids are okay, which seems to be, well, checked off the list.
Well, I'd like to find out a little bit more about Star Mountain, if we can. A few different things have pointed us in that direction, and I'm curious about what's up there.
Yeah.
And then also, I think we need to try to find out if we can find anything about the Vonindod. I mean, just assuming that we're going to stay together and keep doing things now that we're not looking for Cap's family. I don't want to make an assumption. Just a couple of suggestions.
Well, we've got 10 days, and I don't fancy breaking my word to a dragon. So, we could head to the inn, try to get some more information, see who's around.
See if there's beer.
I think it would be inadvisable for me to go into the inn before we stop at the Church of Lathander.
You want to stop at the Church of Lathander? What, can't we just be like
want
this?
to
Like,
stop.
let's not stop then. Let's go see if there's another tiefling and we can what is that thing called where you copy it? Forge. Let's forgery it. But we gotta find one to forgery it, you know what I mean? Or maybe there's someone that can forgery it. We should just go ask at the inn.
I can forge it, but I just need to lay eyes on what the pass card looks like.
Or we could see if there's another tiefling at the inn.
Sounds
Does
good.
anybody have anything red and gold? Any cloth? Anything?
Rooster takes off their loincloth.
Oh,
Okay, well.
something that has not touched an intimate area of the anatomy.
Come on now, Worthy, beggars can't be choosers.
Worthy, just in a state of
It's at this
overwhelm.
moment, Worthy, that you look up to see what's around you. And you guys realize that you are approaching what looks to be the town center of Amphail that's fairly close to the main gates. And this looks to be a relatively upscale town. But the Amphail that you encounter has this empty, deserted feeling. There's this strange quiet that hangs in the air. And as you've been walking down the streets, you can look around and see that some of the shops have been boarded up. And any folk that you see, they seem to like scurry from building to building. And the day has gotten pretty hot, and you can see that sort of like flies are beginning to buzz in this heat, and there's like a kind of dust that's settled over everything. You've passed a couple of scorch marks on the ground, and there's definitely one or two buildings that looks to have the roof caved in or just completely destroyed. And you know, it seems to be that there are people now feeling safe enough to begin to at least clear rubble and build things up, but it's a upscale town that has not escaped the dangers of a giant attack. As you are looking around, other folk look to be regular folk that are not in white cloaks, but they are armed. And in the center of town, this is sort of where you're at, you look and you can see that there's this massive statue of a horse rearing up triumphantly on its hind legs. And next to it is this tall wooden structure whose primary purpose seems to be like hanging this large metal cage. And there looks to be someone slumped in this cage as it sways gently in the wind. Behind it, you can see what looks to be a large church cathedral type building, and there look to be a couple other places around the town square that seem to be shops that are open. You can hear the faint sound of what might be music coming from a tavern. And you look back to Rooster, who is standing stark naked in the middle of the road.
Can I make out the type of folk that is within that cage?
Make a perception check.
While she does that, Rooster reties their loincloth and says, "Sorry, worthy. Don't want to renege, but I think I might need this." And then holds their great axe while looking around.
Just
Never go
Where
to work
you can
with
tell
your
that they're
genitalia
human,
out.
but you can't see exactly what type of humanoid it is.
Worthy turns to Thibodeau and says, I don't like the look of that cage. Listen, we're here under the grace of your reputation. So what do you think we should do?
I think we should maybe play by the rules, unfortunately.
I agree.
I run up and I poke the thing.
Rooster
I
runs
poke
into the middle of the
human.
town square, which is probably about 100 feet away.
Oh,
And
there they go.
you come up to this basically wooden structure. You're going to have to sort of get up on top of it. This looks to be about 5 feet up. The stairs sort of go up to it. It looks like someone
I'm very
is on
dexterous. I feel good
display.
about that. Okay. And I look.
You run up and you look, and you can see that there is a human. Let me make sure here. We've got this waifish individual with this sallow, almost glisteningly blue-green skin. And their hair looks